All right, good morning, everybody. How we doing? How we feeling? Got a brand new, fresh week. Beautiful Monday morning. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Well, my volume, my levels. Check on my levels. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Weekend went by. The weekend went by pretty, fast for me. I don't even, whatever. All right, there we go. All right, so let's get going with this quote of the day. Do not fear failure, but rather fear not trying. All right. That is the quote of the day. Just a short, quick one. Let's jump on over here into our pre-market insight. All right, looking at the calendar for this week, it's a pretty light calendar. Not a whole lot is going on this week. Uh, as today, we don't have any kind of any events. Tomorrow we have EIA short-term energy outlook and the JOLTS job openings. Wednesday there's nothing. It's also Veterans Day. Thursday we got the core CPI, initial jobless claims, and crude oil inventories is Thursday this week. And then Friday we have the PPI. All right, so that's our economic calendar. Let's go ahead and look at the NQ futures power range for today. All right, so for NQ we had a high of 12,258 and a half with a low of 12,122. At the time of this posting, we were trading neutral, up 0.34% with a volume of 205K, which is significant. It's a lot of volume for the pre-market, and an ATR of 317.41. Let's go ahead and look at that on the chart. See how the price responded to our Fibonacci levels. All right, so we had a little bullish run up at the open. From the open of that, we gapped up, traded higher into the European session. And in today's pre-market, we had a strong sell-off, closed the gap with a bounce. So overall, right now, it's looking like it could turn bearish. We're running into some resistance. I got resistance at, hold on, actually it should be in this report. 12,440. Yeah, so around 12,440, 12,4, around 4, I say about 30. So I start, paying attention around 30, 430, 30, 435. It's not an exact location. That's just where I'm going to expect to see some um, sellers coming in. People looking to short that area, and if we break that area, maybe slowly climb higher. I don't see us, having any super strong bullish moves today. That's just my personal opinion. And I have been I have been off when I speculate like that. So don't take that as gospel. Remember, this is just for educational and entertainment purposes. This is not advice to buy, sell, or do anything particular. let's get some music going. So interesting. I see a lot of news headlines where Berkshire Hathaway bought back a lot of shares, $9 billion worth of shares to be exact. I would expect to see some trading sentiment where people are following those headlines, and it will, could spark some buying interest in retail traders and other traders or investors really across the market. That is what the market is buzzing about this morning. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4. There's at least 4 headlines about that topic alone. And of course, we know what the other topics are about. Not even gonna mention it on this stream. Good time to get that pre-market snapshot. Gold also sold off pretty hard in the pre-market. Interesting. we're in an interesting space right now before the bell. It could be possibly either making a higher low on the 3-minute chart or making a lower high, and trading in this range. Well, we're actually trading within the power range right now. After that sell-off, we bounced back up into the power range, retested the low of it, bounced off the high, and now we're just, hanging out within that range. Got a lot of volume sitting at 172 down to around 150. Less than a minute before the bell. Put this on silent. Minute into the open, and this price action looks a little weak to me. Let's see if the next couple of minutes, if things can pick up a little bit. We're looking to see what happens once we break, either side of that previous candle. Previous 3-minute candle. ton of volume at 172. And the main chart I'm looking at right now is Sierra, but I glanced over at Ninja Trader and it's slightly different. In fact, let me make sure all of my settings are right in there. Right. Looks like we're picking up a little bit of momentum now. That took off without giving me a signal. Well, I guess I could have went, yeah. Oh man. Someone has triggered the fire alarm. Okay, it didn't last long. I'm sure y'all heard that. One crazy thing about living where I live is they have very sensitive fire alarms, and what happens sometimes is people, smokers, well they'll light their cigarette or whatever around the elevator, and then it'll trigger the fire alarm, and they rather to go outside and they have to bring the fire department has to come here and check everything out. Just wasted everybody's time. It's kind of frustrating. Doesn't seem like that one was the case though.
Order submitted.
Alright, if we get back up to that level, I'm going to take my first short. Even though this could be, well, we'll see what happens. Looking to see how price reacts to the low of the power range. If I look out at the hourly chart, we are bouncing off of a previous pivot area, previous resistance, which is now serving as support. to be the beginning of okay, of a battle zone. See reasons to take a trade on either side of this. This depends on what the price action tells us within the next few minutes. Got this support at basically at 106, 105-ish, somewhere around there.
Order submitted. Order canceled.
That pivot I'm talking about. What? They didn't let me draw it. I'm gonna deal with that right now.
Order filled. Order submitted. Order submitted.
I am in one short. I had to make some adjustments to it. We'll add into the position if it trades higher.
Order canceled.
Alright. Got to trigger that on a break even. That's a little choppy. I didn't even get time to log it. It already triggered me out. It just shows the volatility that we're having right now, where how prices jumping, between these, um, back and forth between the prices. 'Cause I have that break even triggered, um, the break even trigger set pretty wide. Like the price has to move at least 15, not 15, yeah, 15 points before it even triggers. So, just from me studying NQ, that is, that's a significant move for price to be, just bouncing around in. But even though we do have a lot of volume in the ATR, it's pretty high. So it all makes sense. It's not. The best place for me that I've taken a short, honestly, is at 160-ish. 160. But it wasn't the cleanest signal for me. Definitely have some buyers sitting out here. As we can see the price action, the volume doesn't really show it that well, but we can look at the price action and tell that we have some traders, buying this range from like 80 to 40. Now they're pushing price higher. Still kind of trading sideways. Earlier I got a message that for some reason it's hiding the chart drawings over here on my 4-hour chart in Sierra. I've seen it happen before. I can't remember how to change it. There it is. So under chart, hide chart drawings. I don't know how that even got enabled, but it's enabled for some reason. Alright. So when I drew this box here, this to show that pivot that I mentioned earlier. It didn't show right away because it's hiding it for some reason. It was hiding it for some reason, which I don't even remember turning it on. So no idea how that happened. I don't even have a reason why I would even turn that on. Now I'm looking to see how price responds to this 3-minute pivot right in here. This range right here is where I previously had an order set to go short, so we'll see what price does. Sort of an odd, structure. This little micro V shape potentially formed. Well, that is a V shape, not even potential V shape. Right now, it's a V shape pattern on the 3-minute. Look at the hourly, it's just a bunch of indecision. Same as on the daily chart. Sort of inclined to take it long, but I don't like the fact that it can run directly into resistance, like all the way. It has to fight resistance to around 280 or 270. The market just hasn't shown any real true direction yet. So I'm just waiting and being patient. And I just remembered my minimum contract size is supposed to be 2 contracts. Go ahead and make that adjustment. Price action is really weak today. That's what I'm noticing so far. We actually have bigger, in terms of the size of the candles, we have bigger candles in the pre-market, which is definitely, pretty rare. Almost feels like trading at after hours. And that gives me my title. we're gonna hang out in this range. I'm expecting maybe a slight bullish pop at 128.75. But we do have some significant volume sitting right there, so I'm just gonna watch it. I don't like these. This is what I would call a battle zone. I don't like trading in this battle zone, so I'm just gonna watch it. One 128 to 174. Again, if I call out any prices or any numbers or whatever, that's not a signal for you to make any kind of actions. That's just me saying random stuff. This is me sharing my opinion. I'm not gonna downplay it. So if you decide to act on it, that's completely your choice. So if I would have took it there, would have ran right into resistance. I'm just gonna call it 148. And the levels I do call out, or the levels I do look at, I'm looking at them as a range, not necessarily as a specific number. That's pretty much the levels. When I see a level, I'm looking at it as like the average. So just to give a little clarity to what the way that I see it. So had I taken that trade, there's a good possibility that it would have worked out. But it would have worked out. It's a matter if I would have hit the target or if it would have ended up being a break even. I took my eyes off the chart for a minute to put some thoughts down in the journal. passed on it because that's not necessarily the kind of trade that I'm looking for, and it's not really based off of my actual strategy. That was just an experienced look. And that entry wouldn't have been based off of anything that I currently have in my strategy or my plan. So what I'm looking at now, still got some resistance to fight through. I think if we make it up to 260, we could also see some playable resistance up there. And that's just based off of price structure. Take it also.
Order submitted.
That's an odd wick on ES on the 3-minute. Okay, so it wasn't a wick. It's just, oh, it started drawing. That's what happened. I was like, that would look weird. In fact, let me look at all of the markets. So from a 30-minute perspective, ES and the Dow, or YM, is bullish. I actually kind of, well, the same as with RTY, even though NQ is doing something totally different. The last 30-minute candle, the previous 30-minute candle on RTY shows a lot of resistance. So, you know, it's a pretty significant bearish candle. Check back with that later. See what happens. sometimes I just like to. Well, my primary focus is on NQ. I like to go back and I like to go check out the sentiment for the other markets, for the market as a whole, and see, which market could potentially be leading the way, or it's, maybe some subtle little clues of, which way a specific market could, be trading in the future. A lot of times, there can be, one market that sticks out that kind of leads the way for the other markets. Sometimes they can be NQ, sometimes they can be ES. Sometimes I've even seen it to be, YM, or very rarely RTY. Usually the leaders are ES or NQ. NQ, a lot of times, since this investors are really, interested in tech stocks, and NASDAQ usually is the one that holds the market up, or, takes the market, tracks the whole market, or the market overall in a certain direction. That might be an interesting topic to make a video about market sentiment. Let's see. Got this on the 3 minute. I have this inside candle here, so I'm gonna take the break short. Wouldn't be surprised if we do trade higher, but
Order submitted.
and another inside, but I'm still gonna take the break of this little range here. I am still short biased. Looks like we could possibly pop higher. It's trading in this little range between 195 and 170. Have a ton of volume in this range. This is still a battle zone, even though, I did say I don't like to trade in the battle zone, but it is what it is. But I do like this setup, these candle pairs. I like to take the inside candles. What my rules are, my desired, or my plan for my, the desired signals and, the trades that I like to take. They're not hard rules, but I do need a good exception in order to break, the rule, or to do something outside of the strategy. It's not really a rule. It's just, I have a strategy and I like to stick to that strategy unless I get a good reason to trade outside of that. It's not like I'm not doing something completely off the walls. It'll be like an experience trade, a trade based off of my experience and my familiarity with NQ. but it has to be, for me to make an exception to the strategy, it has to be a really good exception. So. Buyers they're trying to push it higher. All right. That looks bullish. I have a few reasons to, technically I see a few reasons to expect sellers to, fight back. I explained most of those earlier. I think it's safe to move this one.
Order canceled. Order filled.
took the trade that I mentioned earlier. Okay, I'm gonna switch it over. Kind of messed up my first target. I accidentally clicked it and moved it.
Target filled.
So right now I'm looking for protection higher. Ninja Trader's been giving me a lot of data.
Order submitted.
I don't think we're gonna get up here.
Order submitted.
These trades are orders up here are useless at this point. Now we break even got triggered. Multiple adjustments.
Order canceled.
All right, yep. That's that one. So that one ended up, I hit my first target, and then I got trailed out on the break even. I had a target sitting down here to if we trade it back down into this volume. Even I wasn't really expecting it. Not surprised by that move at all. So the only thing I was looking to do there was I expected this some sellers to be sitting up here at this previous pivot, and there's a lot of other reasons to expect some sellers to be sitting up here. So I was expecting my goal there was just to take advantage of it, but I wasn't expecting anything huge. So we got like 5 minutes before the end of my trading session, so I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. Take my little winners and go home. So appreciate y'all coming, hanging out, trading with me. Hope y'all catching some good wins out there, some good trades. And I'll holler at y'all on the next one. Trade it easy.